Alright, I'm here with a look at my PS4 collection for the year 2017. PS4 is currently my primary platform, and probably the system, the console at least, maybe not handheld, but the console at least that I've played the most on this generation. I really like the PS4. It's a great piece of hardware. It's getting itself a really nice lineup, both exclusive, and I think it's a great place to play multiplats too. I own an Xbox One, but for anyone that doesn't, um, that's going to try to call me a fanboy or anything, but I just prefer the PlayStation ecosystem in general. But I'll start out right here with Batman Arkham Knight, which this game's all right. I like Arkham Asylum a ton, and I feel like the games took a steep decline after Arkham Asylum, which was this fantastic, almost like a 3D Metroidvania type game, and now it became like open world fodder, and I don't know, not quite as into it. But I mean, it's still a good game. I enjoyed playing it. Um, Batman the Telltale series, I like this a lot. I like the Batman Telltale series a lot. There's currently doing season 2, which I didn't pick up a physical copy. Picking up these physical copies is actually kind of useless because it just comes with the first episode on the disc, and then everything else is just you download it anyway. So it's like I gotta put the disc in just to download and play something I've downloaded. So I just downloaded the season pass and doing that. These are really good story wise. The first season has a lot of technical problems. It doesn't run very well. I was getting crashes in the last. I played the last episode like the day it came out. I was getting crashes in it, and like the frame rate was hitting like maybe 5 frames a second, which was horrible. Um, I got a point where like a character came in and he was just eyes, nothing else. That one was actually pretty funny. He was eyes and a mouth, but I think they fixed that in a patch. They shouldn't have pushed it out like that. That was really bad. But you can get this pretty cheap. It's out on Switch, which I hear it actually runs better on the Switch than the PS4, which is crazy to me. But I would definitely recommend it if you're a Batman fan or if you just like a good story in a game because it's pretty engaging. Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. I actually got this on Amazon. They did this weird Prime Day thing, and then there was this horrible glitch, and I got this for $6, brand new. It was like a week after the game came out. There's one of my old pickup videos is I think got Paul Prime Day scores in the title, and I got like this insane Prime Day haul for everything was dirt cheap because everything was mistakenly priced. So check that out if you're interested. I like this a lot. I was never huge on the Crash games. I had them all on PS1. I have them all on PS1 in the collection. You know, I've played them. I like them. I just don't think they're, quite as good as the other platformers of the era. I mean, not all. I mean, it's better than like crap like Bubsy and Gex and Croc, but I mean, you're looking up against Mario and Banjo, even Spyro. I never thought it was quite as good, but this really gave me a bigger appreciation for the series as a whole. The first game has some problems. I think it tries too hard to, do like, pinpoint accuracy uh, platforming, which doesn't really work in 3D as well as I think this game thought it did. But 2 and 3 are both really fantastic platformers that are a lot of fun. This is only $40, like which is a great deal for those 3 games. Definitely recommend it. They did a really great job with that remaster. Destiny. This is actually just came with my PS4. I have that white one that came out. I got it on launch. The white one with Destiny. I played maybe a little bit, and it's just these not really my thing. Shooters to an extent. It depends. I like more linear shooters, but this is just really isn't my thing. These games as a service, online ecosystem type games, don't really do it for me. I mean, mechanically, it was quite nice. I thought it looked nice. The shooting felt good. It's just not for me. I got Dragon Quest Builders, which is really fun. It's like a Minecraft that is like good and wasn't created by a Nazi. Um, I like this a lot, actually. I would definitely recommend it, to be honest. I think it's a lot of good fun. I put a lot of hours into it. It was a good time. Dragon Quest Heroes, The World Trees Woe, and the Blight Below. I hate that title. I hate that title. But yeah, this is a Muso game with Dragon Quest. It doesn't get much simpler than that. It's good fun. I just picked this up recently. I haven't had a chance to play it yet. Final Fantasy XII: The Zodiac Age. Got this on Black Friday from GameStop for $30. Looking forward to playing it. I've never really delved too much into Final Fantasy 12. That's one of the ones I have not put too much time into. Played a little bit of on PS2 and it didn't really click with me, but that was during a time I wasn't playing too many games. So I want to see if I enjoy it now. Final Fantasy 15, which I know there's a lot of debate about this one. I like it a lot. I think it's a deeply flawed game, but it's really enjoyable for what it is, and I really liked it. I think it's a great groundwork for what Final Fantasy can be in the modern era. It looks great. It plays pretty nicely. I mean, you'd hope that it looks great after $300 million or whatever they spent on this in 10 years in development. But I liked it a lot. There's a distinct line though that you can tell that this game had such a long and just arduous and terrible development cycle, because there's just a distinct line in the game where the game completely shifts, and it's really jarring. It's really weird. It goes from kind of this super open world game, all of a sudden it's in corridors and things are just happening, and it's just a train right down the rest of the story, and it's like, I don't know what happened here. But flaws and all, I really had a great time with Final Fantasy 15. I'm looking forward to, I got to pick up the season pass because I think all the character DLCs are out now, all the DLC chapters, which I want to dive into and play those, and I want to try out the multiplayer at least. Final Fantasy Type 0 HD. I got this a long time ago on Black Friday for real cheap. I played a little bit. It didn't really do much for me. I don't know. Maybe I ought to give it a second thought. But we got here Kingdom Hearts 1.5 and 2.5, and Kingdom Hearts 2.8, which is still sealed. I haven't given this a shot yet. Kingdom Hearts, I got these both actually for really cheap on another Prime Day glitch game. Kingdom Hearts, I like in concept. I think the first game's aged quite poorly. It's very awkward. The level design's just not enjoyable, and some of the crap they make you do is really just not enjoyable to play. But Kingdom Hearts is a fun and a charming franchise. I'm excited for 3. I want to try that 2.8 demo out for 3, like the prologue, because I want to see how that plays. But 2.8 has the 3DS game, which is pretty solid on it. But yeah, I got those for like $12 each, I think it was. We got here Ultimate Masterpieces, greatest games of all time. Knack. And Knack 2, baby. I played a little bit of Knack. It's really just completely unremarkable. It's a really just kind of a mediocre at best brawler that's just not really interesting. You go from one arena to the next. You beat up everyone. You go in a little hallway, then you're in the next arena. It's really not that interesting. Knack 2 has a more funny story with me, though. So just recently, I picked this up on Black Friday, and then, a day later, I had my friend over, and we were like joking. We were like, oh, we should just play through all of Knack 2 in one sitting. So we tried to, but the emphasis on tried to. So we get, there's 15 chapters in this game. We played for like 5 hours. We were in chapter 12, and we hit a game-breaking bug that completely stops us in our tracks. We couldn't beat the game. We were pretty devastated just because it's like we just sat through this almost to the end of this crappy game. We were right at the end of chapter 12. We sit through this like stupid crappy game that's really just it's not bad. That's the problem. It's not bad. It's like maybe a 6 out of 10. But it's just, and then we get hit with a game-breaking bug, which we can't move on any further. So that was the end of Knack 2 for us. It's still kind of a mediocre brawler when you play as Big Knack, but the little Knack, you get to do some little platforming parts that are kind of fun, but the jumping also kind of sucks. So I would not recommend either Knack game, not even for the meme. Last of Us Remastered. I've said some things about Last of Us in the past. I don't know, in my other PS4 videos. I like Last of Us. It's a really, really well-made game. I don't like to be the contrarian and say I don't like the term overrated. I'm not going to use the term overrated because it's not overrated. It's rated quite fairly. It's a masterfully made game. It's so well polished. It looks so nice, and I like it a lot. I don't think it's some kind of great I don't know how to say it. I don't think it's this completely excellent, flawless, masterful. I do think it's a masterfully made game, but like just from, I don't think it's like this game that everyone thinks it is. But I mean, it's still a fantastic game. But I mean, some people are like, this is the greatest game of all time. This is, they think it's some like complete revolution in game making. I just don't really feel that way about it. But it's still a fantastic game. I don't want to sound like I'm down on it. I still think it's great. I'm looking forward to the second one, all that. But I don't think it's this 11 out of 10 masterpiece. But that's just me. All right, we got. Oh, I didn't know there were this many at this point. I got a bunch of Lego games because I play all these Lego games and I get the platinum trophy in all of them. I'm a little insane on that. I'm a trophy hunter to an extent. I don't usually. I have about 11 platinums, 10 platinums, something like that. I have a bunch of trophies though. I like to get trophies, but I don't often do things that are going to be annoying or a time sink. But the Lego games are really easy platinums, and I enjoy them quite a bit on top of that. But yeah, I got a lot of them. Avengers, Batman 3, Lego City, Dimensions, Jurassic World, Superheroes 2, which just came out, and I've been playing this, and Star Wars Force Unleashed. Or, not Force Unleashed, gosh. Force Awakens. Whew. Yeah, they're fun, good fun, especially if you have a kid that's just learning how to play games. They're great co-op games with kids as well. So if you have a kid that you want to teach how to play games or teach how to play 3D games more, I'd say this is probably a great bet. I'd probably say the best one is either Superheroes 2 or Star Wars Force Awakens. Depends on what you're into, but they're all good. They're all good games. You can't really go wrong with any of them. I wouldn't recommend getting Dimensions just because the game's dead at this point. But, I mean, if you want to, I'm not going to stop you. You can get that stuff for pretty cheap, I guess, those packs, because they're being clearanced out. But I wouldn't recommend getting that one. But any of the other ones are all good fun. And you can get them. They usually go down. They're pretty cheap on PlayStation Store. They're pretty cheap anywhere. So, good time. I got here Life is Strange, which it took a while for this game to grow on me. At first, I was like, I don't know, is this some kind of like angsty teen crap? I don't know about this. It took maybe about 2 episodes to grow on me, but then I was into it. I liked it. Life is Strange is a unique experience. It's a fun experience to go through. It's not a perfect game by any means, but the writing is definitely a bunch of French, grown French men trying to, talk what a West Coast teenager would talk like, and that's pretty evident. But it's still a good game. I got the prequel Before the Storm is. That was another Prime accident, or Amazon accident that happened over Black Friday weekend, where they accidentally put that digital code up for $6. So I nabbed that because I don't think they're gonna do a physical run of that. But I'd say give Life is Strange a shot, especially if you like the Telltale games. It's kind of like that. It's also it's a more slow paced kind of adventure game type thing. It's good though. We got Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes, which has the worst box art ever, and Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain, which also has very bad box art. Ground Zeroes probably doesn't need to exist. It feels just like the tanker, or yeah, the tanker's the second part, the ship part. I don't know what you want to call that, of Metal Gear Solid 2, but Metal Gear Solid seems like a series that as I've gone on, I've liked. I've started to appreciate it more in like an ironic sense, and started to like it less in like an actual sense. But that might just be me. I don't know. They're good games. They're extremely well made games, but some of the stuff I just can't get past. But I still like them. Metal Gear Solid 2 is one of my favorite games of all time still. These games, on the other hand, throw out Ground Zeroes. Who cares about that? I didn't really care for Ground Zeroes, but Phantom Pain is really good. Phantom Pain is the engine's great. It's a shame that it's stranded at Konami. The game itself is great. The story's stupid. I mean, the story of Metal Gear Solid, let's be honest, it's stupid. It's good stupid, but it's stupid. But the story is like non-existent in this one, which is fine. I never beat Phantom Pain. I just felt that I had gotten my share out of it. I played it for a long time. I wasn't really paying attention to the story. That's where the game is at its best, when you just don't pay attention to the story and you just go out and have fun, because it's a real fun sandbox to play in. I definitely recommend. Let me see. Am I out of order here? Let me make sure I'm not out of order here. No, I'm looking good. All right. Next up, Nier Automata, which I have the There's a reversible artwork, which I thought was cooler than the actual artwork. Uh, doesn't have the ESRB on there or anything. I played a little bit of this. This came out at the worst time of the year, because this came out like, what, a couple days after Zelda. And then after I finished up with Zelda, Persona 5 came right out. So I never really get to give this a huge fair shot. I played a few hours of it, and I really liked what I played. Hopefully over this Christmas break, I'd like to put some time in and actually go through it, because what I played of it was really great, but I have not finished it or anything. But a lot of people speak really highly of that game, so I'm looking forward to going to that. Where's my next here? Got here Persona 5, which is my favorite game on the PS4. If I were to recommend any game, I would recommend this one, under the caveat that you like RPGs. But this is probably, I'd have to say this is my favorite RPG of all time, and it's up there in a lot of ways. This game is way too good in my opinion. It's like absurdly good. Everything about it is fantastic. The story's really engaging, and it's somehow a game that lasts like 80 hours can have a story in gameplay that can still be fun from beginning to end. The story kind of takes a dump like the last fifth. It gets really it just starts to drag out and get stupid, but the whole rest of the ride is fantastic. But maybe not even the last fifth, it's maybe the last 5 hours, or just goes from here to straight down, which is a shame. But everything else is great. The art style is so good. Everything is just really, everything looks cool, but it doesn't really dwell on it, I guess. Everything looks cool. Everything moves, and everything looks alive and looks interesting. The menus just move around, and you have these, I'm not doing it justice. You got to look up footage of the menus or something if you've never played it. And the menus just move around and have this really cool look to them. The UI is impeccably well designed. Everything about it is fantastic. It's so good. This is my game of 2017, game of the year. It's too good. It's too good. This is a steelbook from the special edition. I don't know. This game is fantastic. Pick up Persona 5. You like RPGs. If you've never really, even if I've heard a lot of people that don't even like turn-based RPGs say that they love that, because the turn-based is so fast-paced and it's so quick and easy that it's not, but the game still has a good amount of challenge. They really nail it, even with the RPG, like the combat system, because it's simple to understand, but it can also be difficult. You want to be smart. Persona 5 is absolutely fantastic. Everyone needs to play it. Moving on here. The Ratchet and Clank, there's the remaster. This came out with that movie that kind of just came and went and kind of bombed. But the game did really well. The game's really good. I mean, it's probably one of the best looking PS4 games. It plays well. It's the first Ratchet and Clank game, but remade and better. So there you go. After Ratchet and Clank, we got here Resident Evil 7, Biohazard. I always like how they did that with the VII, and then in Biohazard, when it was Biohazard 7 Resident Evil, they had the 7 be in the Z. That was really clever. I really liked that. But Resident Evil 7, I played probably about a third of it in one sitting, and I really liked what I played. It was a really great return to form for the whole series, which I liked 5 alright, but I never played it anything but co-op. It's a fun co-op game. But everything else, I just take it or leave it really with me with Resident Evil. I like Resident Evil 4 a lot, and the classics are classics in their own right. I really like Resident Evil remake on GameCube. But I feel like this is a good step in the right direction, and it was just well done. I mean, I don't get scared by video games. I've played through a lot of horror games like Silent Hill 2, a lot of the old Resident Evils. And just felt really nothing. I was like, this is great, but I'm not scared at all. But this is really tense. It's really, really something. So I'd say definitely worth it. I think they're coming out with a version with all the DLC, so if you haven't played it yet, I think that'd be a good time to step in. One that I have sealed is Resident Evil Revelations 2. I liked Resident Evil Revelations 1 I played it on 3DS. And I liked that. I have not tried out 2. I've not really heard great things about it, but I got this pretty cheap, so what are you gonna do? We got Rock Band 4. I was huge into Rock Band on last generation. I had like all of them on the Wii, Um, I played so much Rock Band. That was like half that last generation. Probably most of it was just me playing Rock Band and Guitar Hero, but I was more into Rock Band. And it was kind of weird to see it come back after it had just died. It had completely died in like 2010. And it's weird to have seen it come back, and it really didn't come back. Both Guitar Hero Rock Band came out the same year, the new ones. They both kind of bombed. I got this for like, with the guitar, for like $45 or something like that, I think I paid. And for what it's worth, I had a good time revisiting Rock Band. I bought some DLC songs. I had a good time revisiting it. It just didn't need to. Rock Band didn't need to come back. Who were we trying to fool? No one wanted Rock Band to come back. Moving on. Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor. This was a really cool game. I don't really have a whole lot of desire to play the new one that just came out, but I played this a lot. I never beat it, I don't think, but I played a lot of it. I don't really have a huge affinity to like the Tolkien universe, the Lord of the Rings and all that. I've seen the Lord of the Rings movies years ago, and they're fine for what they are. I like them, but I mean, I don't have any real motivation to revisit them. And I like this game. It was really well made. It was Assassin's Creed, but interesting, I guess. I'm gonna probably make someone mad with that, but I'm sorry. I guess I'm not sorry. But no, this was good. I liked it. Sleeping Dogs Definitive Edition. I got this for like $5 on Square Enix's Black Friday sale. I heard great things about it. I haven't tried it out yet, but I'll probably check it out someday. Another game I have sealed from Square Enix. I got this Black Friday last year at GameStop for real cheap. I didn't hear great things about this either. Or I didn't hear great things about this. Star Ocean, Integrity, and Faithlessness. I liked all their Star Ocean games. I wanted to have this in the collection because I have almost all of those games, but from what I hear, this didn't fare so great, which is a shame because other games are real good. Moving on to the last stack we have here. All right. Make sure we got everything. All right. We're going to start out here with maybe a controversial one. Star Wars Battlefront, the reboot, which, to be honest, I liked it, but there's like maybe an asterisk next to like it because it's so light on. It was so light on content. I mean, they really wanted you to do this, buy this $50 season pass, which was absurd. This game's $60. So that was a little disappointing. But I mean, I had fun with what I played it, but I would have probably played it more if it had more content. I felt like maybe after 15 hours of playing online over a few weeks, or probably about a month, I felt like I had exhausted everything I wanted to do in the game, which is a shame. But I mean, it's a really nice looking game. It's well made, but it just feels light on content. I really like the, what was it, Heroes and Villains mode. That was a fun mode. But yeah, other than that, I haven't played it, since the initial coming out of it, which I guess probably says a lot about the game. All right, after Star Wars, we got Tales of Zestiria, which I'm a big fan of the Tales series. I like these games quite a bit. But this one didn't click for me for some reason. It didn't really do anything for me. I don't know. I've heard a lot of people say the same thing, too. It didn't really click for me. I have not played Berseria, which I hear is great. I haven't played it yet. I don't know. They were coming out like every year, so maybe I felt like burned out by them. The last one I actually really put any time to was Xillia 1. But yeah, I mean, this didn't really do it for me. I want to play Berseria though, because I hear that one's really good, but maybe wait for a price drop or something. We got Uncharted, the Nathan Drake collection, which I'm going to say right now, Uncharted 3 is the best PS3 Uncharted game. But this is a good collection. It makes it better. It fixes some of the problems with the first 3 Uncharted games, like the aiming and stuff like that. This is a good collection. You can get this really cheap, and all these games are great. So I would recommend that. We also got here Uncharted 4, which is probably the best game graphically I've ever played. This game's beautiful. It looks great. It plays really great. It feels like a step in, further in Uncharted, where it feels like Naughty Dog took what they learned from Last of Us and applied it to Uncharted and really made it, I think it made it even a step higher. It really was like a big step from the even 3, which was a huge, 2 and 3 were like a huge step from 1, and then we get another huge step for 4. And Uncharted Lost Legacy, which I only played maybe half of it, and I don't know, I felt like I was just getting more Uncharted 4, but with worse characters that I didn't really care about, and I don't know, didn't do as much for me. But I'd like to go back and maybe try to finish it. But yeah, it didn't feel as special as the other as Uncharted 4. And but I mean it's basically Uncharted 4 engine. Until Dawn, which this is sealed, but I have it on. But I got it for free on PlayStation Plus too, so I'll probably just keep it sealed. But I haven't tried it out yet. I've heard great things, but I don't know, just haven't gotten into it yet. I got this really cheap, and I got it free on PlayStation Plus too, so I have 2 copies, I suppose. We got Valkyria Chronicles Remastered. I played this game on PS3. It's really great. I saw it was like a Prime or Amazon flash sale or something. This game it was real cheap on PS4. They're making Valkyria Chronicles 4 that's coming out for PS4 and Switch and everything, which is exciting. Valkyria Chronicles is definitely a game I would recommend you play. It's a really cool strategy RPG with a really cool like watercolor art style, and it's really well presented. It's really fun to play. Definitely recommend that one. 3 more games here. We got Yakuza 0 and Yakuza Kiwami, which Yakuza is probably the best game series that you've never played, unless you've like never played like Mario or something, or or if you've actually played Yakuza. Yakuza is fantastic. These games are great. They're like a weird. Their whole existence is weird because they're like this AAA game made like high budget AAA game made by Sega aimed at like Japanese adults, and then they bring it over here because you can't sustain a game sales off of just Japanese adults, and they're just really well polished, really well done. They're basically like this. People try to say they're like Japanese Grand Theft Auto, but they're not like in any way possible. They're really only the way that you're open world. They're open world. But they're just ridiculous. They're so over the top, so goofy, so like just crazy. And they have this weird tone shift where the series tries to be serious and at some points in the story, and then it just goes into you can go do karaoke and you I don't even know. It's crazy. Look up some of the sub stories. There's some crazy sub stories. You have to one of them. I don't remember which one. 2 maybe. You had to beat up like a ring of adult men that would wear diapers. It's just bizarre. They're so good though. These games are like they're so good. You have to play these. This is the best time to get into Yakuza, I think. Yakuza 0 is a prequel to the whole series, and Yakuza Kiwami is a remake of the first game, completely redone for the PS4, which is really incredible. And this is only $30, by the way. For some, Sega could have charged the full $60. They only charged $30 for this, so it's a no-brainer. But you definitely have to play these games. You definitely owe it to yourself to play these. If you like, it's the same team that did Shenmue, or most of the same team that did Shenmue. But it's way more interesting than Shenmue. It's like they're basically like a brawler with pretty fun combat. Pretty like engaging combat. You can do all this wacky stuff in it. Pick up like a bicycle and slam a bicycle over you beat the crap out of these guys. You can slam a bicycle over their head, and then you after the fight's over, they just sit there like bend over, and they're like, "Oh man, you really got me there." They're so ridiculous. They're so much fun. You have to play it. I mean, you would be walking down trying to get to the next story thing, and then let me go, I don't know, play pool, and then you end up playing pool for like an hour because they have it's so good. Those games are great. I could talk about them for an hour. You have to play them. Last one here is Yooka-Laylee, which was a bit disappointing for me. This is the only game I've ever actually kickstarted before. I gave it, I don't know, like $5 or whatever the lowest one is. I got my name in the credits, I guess, but I don't know. It felt like a good groundwork for a potential sequel to Yooka-Laylee, but there's a lot of it that just design wise feels like it does everything. It takes everything of the old Banjo games. So it absolutely nails the feel and the atmosphere and the music and everything, which is obvious, it's the same composer, but it also takes the really dated, old stuff from those games, stuff that should have and could have been left in the past. It takes the whole package of those games and kind of puts it in HD modern era. And I think that they have to learn from the past 20 years of game development instead of just take it basically. I mean, this besides the graphics and everything, this game could have been put on the N64, and I think to an extent that's cool for the nostalgia's sake, but it just feels like, um, the whole game industry and medium has grown, and I think this game didn't really grow with it. But I mean, it's fine. I have not played it since the big update where they fixed a lot of things. One of the biggest problems I had with it was the camera, which they fixed. So I'd like to actually dive into it at some point and maybe get the platinum trophy. Because I liked what I'd played of it. I didn't play a whole lot of it because I just had some problems with it. But now that they did a huge patch, the Playtonic, the developers, have really, really listened to the community and saw what people wanted, and they've really responded. And I can really respect that. But you can get this cheap too. I've seen a couple sales of it for maybe $15, which was only $30 to begin with. And it's coming to Switch in a couple weeks, so I'd say jump on. I'd say try it out now that they've patched it and fixed it. If you like Banjo and all that, you're going to like this. But you got to be aware that it does have some flaws. But yeah, thank you for watching this PS4 collection update. Make sure to like if you enjoyed. Make sure to leave a subscription Subscribe if you enjoyed and you want to see more. Leave a comment with some of your PS4 games, some games I might be missing from my collection, some games that I might not know about, or some games that you like. Make sure to follow me at Twitter and Instagram at ObjoGaming. And I'd like to thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.